This story is called Alfie's Feet. It's by Shirley Hughes. There we see our friend Alfie. He's sitting there on the floor and he's watching his sister, Annie Rose. What's Annie Rose doing here? Do you think she's trying to take her shoes off or put her shoes on? It's hard to tell from the picture, isn't it? Most babies learn to take their shoes off before they learn to put them on, but I'm not sure which one she's doing. Alfie had a little sister called Annie Rose. Alfie's feet were quite big. Annie Rose's feet were rather small. They were all soft and pink underneath. Alfie knew a game he could play with Annie Rose, counting her toes. Want to see what game he was playing? I bet it's one you've heard of. This little pig went to market. This little pig stayed at home. This little pig had roast beef. This little pig had none. This little pig cried wee, 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 wee all the way home. Have you ever played that game or had someone play it with you with your toes? Lots of babies like that game, don't they? Annie Rose had lots of different ways of getting about. She went forwards crawling. Can you see her there? And backwards on her behind. And she liked to slide about very fast on her potty. Oh my. She liked to slide about very fast. Look at this funny picture. Can you see Annie Rose? Skidding round and round on the floor and in and out of the table legs. You see Alfie sitting in his chair, and there's Annie Rose under the table on her potty. Here she is going very fast on her potty. Silly Annie Rose. Annie Rose had some new red shoes. She could walk in them. You see her walking a bit if she was pushing her little cart or holding on to someone's hand. So pushing her little cart or holding on to someone's hand, then she could walk a little bit. When they went out, Annie Rose wore her red shoes and Alfie wore his old brown ones. Mom usually helped him put them on because he wasn't very good at doing up the laces yet. That is a hard thing to learn, isn't it? To learn to do your shoelaces. That takes a lot of practice, and children really have to work at it. So Alfie's having his mom help him with it. He'll learn, just as you'll learn to do it eventually, right? Look at this nice picture. What do you see in this picture? Where do you think they are? You have any guesses? Where do you think the children are? Looks like they're at the park, doesn't it? And what kind of a day is it? Is it a hot, dry day? Is it a snowy day? No. It's a wet day, isn't it? Kind of a cool, wet day. We can tell it's cool because the children and their mom have jackets on. And how can we tell that it's wet? Oh my, puddles everywhere, aren't there? If it had been raining, Alfie liked to go stamping about in mud and walking through puddles. Oh, look at the mud he found. Oh my. Splish, splash, splosh. Even the ducks are watching, aren't they? That's a lot of puddle to jump in. Do you like doing that kind of thing? You can tell that Alfie really does, doesn't he? Splashing in all that mud and those big puddles. He's enjoying himself. Then his shoes got rather wet. Well, I think they're more than wet. Do you see his knees all muddy? Then his shoes got rather wet. So did his socks. And so did his feet. His feet were wet, his socks were wet, his shoes were wet. Everything was wet. So what's he going to do about it? Oh, there, isn't that nice? Can you tell what this is? You see that it's a fire? And they put their socks and their shoes next to the fire so they can dry. The kitty cat likes the fire, right? And Annie Rose and Alfie like the fire. Look at them warming their toes up near the fire. And even their mom likes the fire. Can you see that she's sitting here by the fire? Everybody likes that. It's nice and cozy and warm. That's nice after they've been outside getting wet. This one's a very, very big picture, so I'm going to show you part of it, and then we'll look at the other part. So one Saturday morning, Alfie and Mom went to a big shop in the high street. What kind of a shop is it? Can you tell what it sells? I see lots and lots and lots of shoes for sale. These are all people who are out shopping. Little children out shopping. And older people out shopping. People looking in the windows to see if they like the things that are for sale. And who's this? Who are these two people? There's Alfie, and there's Alfie's mom, right? And they're going inside the shop. Oh, there's even a baby that went shopping, right? Little baby went shopping. Who else went shopping? Oh, it's a dog, isn't it? Do dogs need to go shopping? Sometimes they do go shopping just because their owners go shopping, right? Well, Alfie and his mom went shopping. They bought a pair of shiny new yellow boots for Alfie to wear when he went stamping about in mud and walking through puddles. So see, they're looking at shoes. Other people are looking at shoes as well. And the nice lady here is helping Alfie to try on those boots. So See, here's one boot, two boots. And he's trying on the boots so he can see how they fit. See, he's taken his old shoes off and he's trying on the boots so he can see if they fit. Do you ever do that? Buy shoes and have to try them on? Mom or Dad helps you try them on so you can see if they fit. If shoes don't fit well, they're not very comfortable. Alfie was very pleased. Look at how happy he is about that. Alfie was very pleased. He carried them home himself in a cardboard box. See, his boots are inside of the box. He's carrying them home. Here's Alfie. Now he's at home. What's he doing? He took his shoes off again. He's taking the boots out of the box. You think he'll try them on? When they got in, Alfie sat down at once and unwrapped his new boots. He put them on all by himself and walked about in them. It's not like his shoes that he has to have help tying the laces. Right? These he can put on by himself. So he put them on right away. There he is, putting them on right away. And then he walked around in them, stamp, stamp, stamp. He looks pretty happy about that, doesn't he? It's fun to stamp around in new shoes or boots. Here's the kitchen. He went into the kitchen to show Mom and Dad and Annie Rose stamping his feet all the way. So here's the kitchen. There's Mom and Dad, and where's Annie Rose? Is she hiding? Where is she? She's under the table, isn't she? Mom had a basket for the shopping, the things they bought while they were shopping. Looks like Annie Rose is taking it all out of the basket for her. And Mom and Dad are having some tea. And here comes Alfie, stamping his feet all the way. He's got his boots on. Stamp, stamp, stamp. It can be a lot of fun to make noise like that, can't it? Stamp, stamp, stamp. There's Annie Rose watching him. The boots were very smart and shiny, but they felt funny. I wonder why they feel funny. Alfie wanted to go out again right away, so he put on his Mac, and Dad took his book and his newspaper, and they went off to the park. So there's Dad getting ready to go. He's getting a book and a newspaper. Alfie's putting on his rain jacket. He has his boots on already. Mom's trying to rescue the things that were in the basket from Annie Rose dumping them all out, right? But Alfie and his dad are getting ready to go out. And they went off to the park. There. So there's, if you can see the whole picture, Alfie's scaring some birds. There's Alfie's dad, he's reading. People walking in the park, all the birds getting scared away by Alfie, And there's Alfie stamping his feet in a puddle. Oh, wouldn't you like to do that too? Alfie stamped in a lot of mud and walked through a lot of puddles. Splish, splash, splosh. He frightened some sparrows who were having a bath. These are all the sparrows flying away. They were having a bath in that puddle. And he scared them off, didn't he? He even frightened 2 big ducks. You see? See if I can get it back far enough. There's Alfie coming along stamping. And here are the ducks. And they don't look very happy with Alfie, do they? He even frightened 2 big ducks. They went hurrying back to their pond, walking with their feet turned in. Is Alfie enjoying all that splashing? He really is, isn't he? He's having such a good time. Now he's looking down at his boots, isn't he? There go the ducks. And he's standing here looking at his boots. Alfie looked down at his feet. They still felt funny. They kept turning outwards. Dad was sitting on a bench. They both looked at Alfie's feet. Do you see them looking at Alfie's feet? Dad stopped his reading, and Alfie stopped his stamping, and they're both looking down at Alfie's boots. Suddenly, Alfie knew what was wrong. Do you know what's wrong with Alfie's boots? Can you guess? Let's read and see. Dad, let me get the picture right so you can see it. Dad lifted Alfie onto the bench beside him and helped him to take off each boot and put it on the other foot. His boots were on the wrong feet, weren't they? Have you ever done that with your shoes? Have you ever put them on the wrong feet? It makes them feel funny. It doesn't feel right. Alfie had put his boots on. He was so excited to put his boots on all by himself, but he had put them on the wrong feet. Now Dad's helping him get them switched around. Helped him to take off each boot and put it on the other foot. And when Alfie stood down again, his feet didn't feel a bit funny anymore. That's better. That's better, Alfie. Now he can walk better. After tea, Mum painted a big black R onto one of Alfie's boots and a big black L on the other to help Alfie remember which boot was which. The R was for right foot, right foot, and the L was for left foot. The black paint wore off in the end, and the boots stopped being new and shiny. But Alfie usually did remember to get them on the proper way round after that. That was helpful of Mom, wasn't it? They felt much better when he went stamping about in mud and walking through puddles. It is helpful, isn't it, to have some way of knowing which one goes on which boot goes on which foot. And of course, Annie Rose made such a fuss about Alfie having new boots that she had to have a pair of her own to go stamping about in too. Splish, splash, splosh. Alfie's boots were yellow. What color are Annie Rose's? She has red boots, doesn't she, to match her red coat and her red hat. And there's a couple of footprints. Does your footprint look like that? Maybe sometime you can make a footprint on a piece of paper with your mom or your dad's help and see if it looks like that. All right, I hope you enjoyed the story. I love you.